My name's Cinnamon. How you doing?
Oh my God.
Like, yo, don't come near me with no French toast. Man.
Don't
messed up.
Please.
You know what I mean?
So we have this segment here is going to be a very great segment. If you're tuning in, this is a part of a serious program that we're bringing in, dealing with domestic violence, abuse in all shapes and forms. But I'm gonna let her introduce herself because this woman is extraordinary. She's a great woman, an activist. I mean, but I'm gonna let her introduce herself and I'm gonna let her explain herself because I don't want to get it wrong.
There you go.
So, further ado, go ahead. Tell the wonderful world of WBNC and everybody out there who you are.
I am Rosaura Torres, author of Abuse Hidden Behind the Badge, and of course, Abuso Escondido Detrás de la Placa.
That's right.
I'm also an activist here in Philadelphia, and the main reason why I decided to write my story was that I survived, but I lived in fear. I went into hiding for 10 years. So now as an activist, I'm bringing out our sister survivors and our brother survivors so they can speak out also.
Right. So you heard it live.
Dude, I'm just as excited to talk with her, to speak with her as I was talking to Tough Crew last week because then, like I said before, this is something that really touches home because my dad, when he was an alcoholic, used to beat my mom. And it was like it's a very, very, very touchy subject for me. So,
well, you know, for me, it's a touchy subject because I lived in the ghetto in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And my mother, prior to my grandmother raising me, was abused not only by her family, those siblings, not the younger ones, but also by every man that she's ever been with, including my father.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I made a solemn vow that I was always going to, if I got married or if I was involved with somebody, that I would try to be as meek as possible because, at the end, if it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. If a woman or a man decide to do whatever they're going to do, it's no reason to be abusive. We're all adults. It's a yes or no.
When my wife pisses me off, you know what I do? I wait till she falls asleep and let go of a silent but deadly one and throw the blanket over her face.
That is serious abuse. And you're a big guy, man. So that's that. Oh no, man.
Beer
some
and chicken wings
he like
before.
And some rice and beans. Ooh,
yeah.
Wow.
Throw the blanket right over her face.
The fire alarm going bleep, bleep, bleep. It's a fire. But explain to our viewers or our listeners and us here, when did you realize that enough was enough?
Well, I didn't. My husband of 20 years, we were together 16, he left after he caused me retinal detachment in the right eye. So I didn't, because even during the marriage, I would say to him, I would die for you. But I realized that
he
it wasn't the
was
same. Oh yeah, it wasn't the same for me. So no, he left, and I'm damaged. I had, before Michael came into my life, I had gentlemen that I dated tell me I was damaged goods. And I really felt damaged. I did. Totally was, it was like, and then I went into that hiding, afraid of my shadow, afraid of getting hurt, and it was horrible.
Right.
I ran. I kept running. That's what I did.
So you ran for 10 years.
Yes.
Now, the gentleman sitting next to you, we're going to bring him in because he very interesting, because it's what I'm getting at is, after all these years, now you find yourself a man that has to deal with the aftermath of some stuff. And that takes an extraordinary man.
Not just that, but See, what you guys are not seeing out in Radio Land is the peace and happiness that's on her face.
Right.
Especially
Absolutely.
when she looks at him. And my pastor always said, you can always tell when the woman is happy or when the man is happy because the woman is consistently smiling. And from the minute she walked down the steps to come in here, she was nothing.
Well, first she was scared because the women from Section 8 were here. And then she saw that big transgender vestite, whatever. And so she was like, and he was like, yo, are we in the right studio or something? This is the basement.
They're not going to rob us.
They're not going to rob us or anything. I was like, no, don't worry about it. They're trying to work things out with the food stamps and stuff. So, it's all right. But introduce yourself.
My name is Michael Thomas.
Mr. Thomas. It sounded real smooth. Right. My name is Michael Thomas.
Professor Michael Thomas.
So I'm Rose's fiance. Hopefully we'll get married next year. And, I've just helped her as much as I could. Helped her publish the book. Initially I was standoff. She had a publishing company. I said, oh, great. Everything's going to be taken care of. And then she decided to self-publish. And I said, oh, I need to step in here. I'm going to have to give her 1,000%. As a self-published, that means we do everything. So I tried to do everything I could. Editing, marketing, building a website, thinking about the global strategy, the different distribution channels, the marketing plan. So I did everything I could. Photographer, editor.
But you know what's amazing is that sometimes, and I'm not going to try to get religious, but sometimes God has to put you through a certain phase in your life in order to get to the promised land, let's just say, and then this is the outcome. Because, before you become happy, you have to struggle.
Well, everybody has to go through their storm in order to come out clean on the other side. You know what I mean?
That's why I love you, man. You always, this is my yin and yang, my ching and chang, whatever, peaches and chong, whatever whatever it is. But so you wrote this book. Michael helped publish it and helped you along the way. What were the obstacles that you guys had to go through because I know there had to be a lot of obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you think about it, it's a very controversial book. I'm talking about a high-ranking chief inspector for the Philadelphia Police Department.
Okay.
And he is now, anyone can Google him, he's now chief of police in Lancaster.
Wow.
But then it goes deeper than that because I never wanted to judge all police officers. I gotta say, there has to be good cops out there. But daggone it, I met a state trooper and I believe he was the devil himself.
Whoa.
I really do. I'm like, oh, I named him Damien in the book. So I got attacked. Oh, you're a liar. You're evil. You're vindictive. I heard the ding, and is that my time?
No, don't worry about it.
And I even had some of his cop friends come at me at the gym. I stopped going to the gym because one cop, in one breath, he said to me, oh, you're just bitter. And I'm like, I'm bitter? I'm an award-winning author. My book has won 3 times and once in LA to become a movie. How bitter can I be? I said, I'm free.
Right.
I'm free. So, yeah, I had a lot of people come at me. And then we decided, with the Banda de Puerto Rico on the cover of the book, we put it in Spanish. And I think of my parents, because I always remember my parents saying to me, Rosaura, siga la lucha.
Right.
You deserve better. Continue the fight. Both my parents said that to me. So I stand strong. But I stand strong side by side with other women and men who survived just like me.
I have a question.
Sure.
You coming from a loving family home, how do a lot of women like yourself get caught into being in a relationship with a person that abuses them and not leave?
Because they make you feel that they love you unconditionally, that they, in the beginning that, you're treated like a queen. I've been told time and time again by him that, I treat you like a queen. But I'm like, it was not only with him, but with his family. I mean, the background scared the bejesus out of me because, they portray themselves to be so perfect. There's an organization called Jack and Jill. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, I haven't.
Jack and Jill was founded here back in 1938.
Right.
And it's an organization only meant for light-skinned blacks. You were not permitted if you were brown-skinned.
Wow.
So his grandmother was one of the original founders. And they made it very clear to me that my race, Puerto Ricans, were the low lives of all low lives. So this is my experience. And I didn't understand because I grew up in North Philly. So in North Philly, you have everything.
We're all one.
We're all one. We're all there. And I didn't understand. I'm thinking my parents never heard a racial word that came out of their mouth. But I was not accustomed to hearing it coming out of his grandmother, him, his mother, and sister. And this is what I dealt with. The first 10 years of marriage, it was a nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. Yeah.
Wow.
So now, how can people that need that service, or how can people connect and buy your book or see your website and all that? If you could just let everybody know your website, organizations that you're affiliated with, and just an overall of how people could get help.
Well, I went through Women in Transition. Congreso's here, right?
Right, yes.
Congreso does a lot of group therapy for a lot of women. One of my sister survivors who I'm helping, still in the court services, Zulema. She went through Congreso. Her abuser is a 25th district cop.
Wow.
So she's still going through the hassle because it's not so easy. It's not easy. Domestic violence alone is a problem, but when it involves a police officer, they rather listen to the officer before they listen to us.
Right.
So I can recommend these women to go to Congreso, Women in Transition, Women Against Abuse, Lutheran House. There are organizations all throughout the United States, but the problem is, and it starts up, Washington has to change the laws. Either you change it or you enforce it, not choose one for the other, because that's the problem we're having. You would rather protect the officer because of his title.
Right.
We don't count. We just lost a sister in Neptune, New Jersey, in front of the Neptune Police and Fire, in front of the neighbors, and in front of her child. He shot her 4 times, and they kept telling him, "Put your gun down, put your gun." Please. By the second shot, and he was walking around the car, you could have shot him in the leg and stopped him from killing her, but you didn't. Then there's our fallen sister Crystal Judson in Tacoma, Washington. For the longest, she was trying to get help from the police department, trying to get help from the mayor, from the managing director. And what did he do? He shot her in the supermarket in a parking lot in front of their children and killed himself too. So see, there are many. Taisha Williams from Philadelphia. She tried to get help from Internal Affairs. What did he do? He killed her and killed himself.
Yeah,
then we have Jill Barella. I know I'm throwing out names.
Yeah, go ahead.
She survived. She was trying to get help, I know George Barella. I knew him when I was married to my ex. He shot her 4 times and she survived. But what did they do? They ignored her. But she went into hiding again because we do have that fear. Because we're not being heard. You say awareness. Forget the awareness. It's now time for accountability. What about we're losing our men? This police brutality. My son Moses, he could be walking down the street and they mess with him. And who his father is. Go ahead, Mike. I know you have a question for me.
No. I was agreeing with you. Like, yeah.
But the thing is, the thing is not. This is a touchy subject, but when it's the truth, it's always touchy, always touchy. But also, we have to realize that there are